All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Jay here. What's going on? How y'all doing today? Welcome back again to the Coffee Q&A series. We're doing our practical brewing, and this week has been Hotel Week, where we've been tasting different coffees from hotels and just seeing what they're like. But how y'all doing today? I'm Jay, your host, as always. How's it going? Today is September 1st, Friday. Beautiful weather here in Baltimore. Cool. It's probably about 60, 70. Well, yesterday morning was 65, so that was pretty cold. Today it's probably about 70, 72 right now. It's supposed to get up into the 80, and we'll see. But today is our last day for Hotel Week. And what do we have going on here today? So today, back in November, I was traveling in Hawaii, and I picked up these coffees. This is Hawaiian Paradise coffees. I got this at the hotel. Two bigger packs. They also utilize these smaller packs. Let me just grab one of where those are. There it is. This smaller pack. So we really can brew quite a bit and even make make their coffee with better water to coffee ratios. All right, so if you have any questions, drop them in the comments over here. Or is it there? I don't know. Everything's always so reversed. But as you can see, today we're in our roasting space. This is actually the setup we used for last night's live stream on the Ono Live channel, where I do coffee and cigars every Thursday night at 8 p.m. And so I just thought, you know what? For today's show here on the Coffee Q&A, I'm going to leave it set up, and we're just going to use that and enjoy it. So as you can see, we've got a Petroncini roaster here. This is a 3 kilo, the Crumb. Really nice, like gas-fired, old-school roaster. This is like a 1970s era model. And then this is the Gießen W6A, which is the newest one that we have here at the roastery. This is a 6 kilo roaster that gas-fired as well, made in the Netherlands, kind of based on Probat design. Very nice quality. We got this one used actually from a roaster down in Falls Church, Virginia, a place called Rare Bird Coffee. Nice guys, really great guys. And they've kept really great care of it. So I've been talking to the exhaust company. You have to put special exhaust in them because there's positive pressure. And just trying to get all the right parts before we start to do the final install. So we have to cut through the roof and do all this stuff and run new gas lines. It's a bit of an in-depth thing, but not terribly difficult. It's taking a long time. All right, so let's get into it. We've got our Hawaiian Paradise, and as you may have recall from the other day, when we were tasting this coffee, that's also Hawaiian Paradise branded. So this is a coffee company that's based in Oahu, in Honolulu, outside in the Kapolei area, and called Uram. And as you can see here, it says Hawaiian Paradise Coffee selects and roasts only the finest coffee grown in Hawaii and around the world. Our roasting and packaging facility in Hawaii operates on 100% renewable solar power. Our vehicles are hybrid electric, and we use low-impact recyclable packaging whenever available. Now, if you recall when we were talking the other day, Hawaiian Paradise is the kind of company that supplies a lot of commercial accounts. So places like IHOP, Marriott hotels, Zippy's restaurants in Hawaii, a lot of different corporate clients, which, it's a very different world than the world that I work in, mainly with specialty coffee and really like forward-thinking coffees that are, we're really looking to meet flavor profiles that are much more deeper and just hopefully very tasty, whereas companies like this are working with clients like the Marriott hotels or whatever, and they have different requirements for their coffees. They've got to deploy thousands of these, and they need hundreds of thousands of packets to supply their chain. So it's a really different world. And whereas someone like myself, the smaller roasters in our niche can really look towards really niche, smaller lots, really focused kind of flavors. Companies like this have to go with something a little more broad because they're serving a different audience, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind as you consider like um, other companies' coffees. Like we're always quick to poo-poo on other people's product, but really there's a need somewhere there and criteria that they're meeting that is important as well, right? And everybody has to meet the standards that they set, right? Okay, so enough of that. What we're going to do today, we're going to head these two. Well, we're going to see how is it different. I still have one more packet, so we're going to maybe what we'll do is we'll brew these two, or maybe we'll just brew one or whatever. We'll figure it out. But I just wanted to see, like, this one is labeled as rainforest, Hawaiian rainforest, and this is just Hawaiian rainforest, Hawaiian rainforest, and regular. And so there's not too much. I don't know if maybe there is a difference or not. We're going to see if we can find out. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to take our first packet here, and we're just going to tear into it. All right, we've got our pouch here. We have a pouch. Okay, so we've got a brew pouch. And let's have a look at how much this brew pouch weighs. 16 grams, it says here. We're going to presume that the coffee, that the pouch itself, the paper, weighs about 2 grams. So we're going to 16 grams. So this will make an 8-ounce cup. Well, maybe that's enough. Right now this, of course, is designed to put in like a 12-ounce brew or something like that. So how much does this weigh? That's 10 ounces. Okay, so we're back to that other. All right, so let's put that there. And all right, let's try it. Let's try it up. Today we're going to brew it in our little server. Let's get that ready. Wonky scales. All right, so we're going to use 8 ounces of water, which we need to. I never remember these things. I think if I recall correctly, 8 ounces of water is 240 grams. Yeah, 8 ounces of water is 240 grams. Perfect. All right, so let's do that now. We're going to start our timer, and we're going to hit it up. Now it's okay for him to, right on the money there, or almost. A little bit too much. 246, we'll chalk that up to absorption in the coffee. So now we're just going to let that sit here and steep. And we're going to see how that turns out. Now we're going to go to our next one, so we can go head to head. We're going to go back to the Hawaiian rainforest. Here in my table, I don't have what do you call it? Oh, I don't have I don't have scissors like I would behind the bar, right? So let's have a look at that beer now. 7. So let's say that's an ounce or a gram. That's going to be 6. So 3 ounces. And 3 ounces of water. Let's just ask. Hey Siri, how much grams is 3 ounces? 85 grams. There we go. So now we're going to take this. We're going to watch our time. 1 minute 30 seconds has elapsed. Turn the scale on here. 1 minute 40. We just need to add a minute 45 or so. All right, 87 grams. Okay, there we are. That's a very pathetic looking amount of coffee. Let's just cover that so that we have some level of, heat retention. All right, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. We got a minute and a half for this one, and still another couple minutes for this one. So how's everything going? I'm a little bit strange today because I'm a little bit fatigued because for some reason, and I think, well, for some reason I didn't get to sleep until like 5 o'clock this morning, and I got up at 8 because I needed to get ready to come in. I had to come to work and to get ready for the live stream, and so I feel, I had to run to the grocery store around early as well and pick up my concha. Turns out that my local bakery or my local Latino market that has the concha that I think is quite nice only gets deliveries on Mondays and Thursdays. So yesterday when I came in at 9 o'clock when they opened, they hadn't received their delivery yet. And I was like, oh, man. So I've got concha here, ready to go. Should be exciting. And then last night we were drinking this coffee called the Sochipam. This is from Ritual Coffee Roasters from Eileen, who's a friend of mine. We've known each other for many, many years since we all started on the coffee. Ritual started in 2005. We used this on the show last night, and it's a real nice, fragrant, floral, tropical, bright coffee. And it says here notes of candied plum, cinnamon, lemon zest. There's definitely some of that, like maybe a light plum. Some of that brightness would be in the lemon. The lemon would be brightness. But it was actually a real nice coffee. I think I'm probably going to make some of this to go with the concha, today's concha. All right, let's see here. 4 minutes. So this is done. Let us look at, whoops. Uh-oh. That camera has always got some issues. So, decent aroma. Okay, so we need to go to 4 minutes. We need to go to 5 minutes, 45 seconds before we can taste that one. So it's got, again, on the nose, it's a little bit mild cinnamon, like a canela, but it's relatively nondescript. It's a very neutral aromaed coffee. I mean, okay, there. On the nose, it's a bit neutral. On the palate, it's definitely more muddy, dirty, tannic, or like dry. Like that, like that kind of CBD damage coffee taste, mouthfeel. Okay, 5 minutes, 42 seconds. Time to pour out this one. The rainforest. So the question really is there much of a difference between this one, the regular, and this one, the rainforest? Time for us to find out. Oh. This one has a harsher nose. Like, it's more tingling on my nostril hairs. Not necessarily, not in a positive way, than this one. Well, this one is very neutral in aroma. This one's a little more tingly, a little bit more, dare I say, offensive. Huh. Ooh. Wow. Like, typically when we have coffee berry borer damaged coffee. And basically, there's these coffee berry borers, what we call CBB, or in Spanish, we call it la broca. These are little mites that burrow into the coffee through the hull, through the mucilage, and into the bean itself. And they burrow through the bean, eating the bean, because I guess they like the taste. And you can have little pinhole dots in your coffee that are mild CBB damage, or they can totally decimate and make it partially black. I mean, it's really the level of decimation of the bean can be quite significant. And we would consider those defects. The flavor that typically accompanies CBB damaged coffee is very dirty, right? Not an earthy, like there's times you have earthy flavors, right? Or earthy tones, not dirty tones, dirty, muddy, dry. The Rainforest Alliance certified coffee has more pronounced damage taste than the regular blend. Whoops. Oh, my cousin's calling. I have to ask her to wait. So that's like, oh, that's significantly offensive. This is much more mild. This is much more approachable. Like there's a little bit of that CBB taste, that dirtiness, but it's relatively mild. It's relatively benign. This, however, it's very active on the palate. Now, we did mention that, a lot of the ratios that you're going to use, these are much smaller ratios. So if I take some water, and the other day when we were using this, we kind of had that experience. And if I added more water, right, to these, to bring it to the strength that you would probably encounter this by using an in-room coffee maker. Like the other day when we did this one, it bring it more to that level really diminished all of those negative notes. So it was just relatively benign again. I mean, that helps. That helps. It dilutes it. That makes it worse, meaning that it was already a very mild, neutral tasting coffee. By adding more water to change the ratio, it really just becomes watery, not very pronounced, not very much of any interest. Yeah, so there it is. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Any thoughts on this for our last day of hotel week? Well, so what's the takeaway? We've tasted several different coffees this week. Yesterday we had the Henry, this coffee from the Henry. Whoops. Oh, yeah. Yesterday we had this coffee. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm totally not thinking where we're. I had this coffee from the Henry, our own coffees. This was actually pretty good. This was rather enjoyable. Not necessarily to my personal taste, because it's very bright and acidic coffee. That's not really my thing. But it's not bad. It's not bad. And then we also had, we did that Rainforest. What else did we do this week? We did, oh yes, we started off the week with this coffee from Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Their Rainforest blend. These Rainforest blends, one thing I'm seeing is that the Rainforest blends really aren't that spectacular. But again, when we're talking about certifications like Rainforest certification, what are the other like organic certification even, or fair trade? I don't really delve in. I don't deal in certified coffees because the key point here is that just because it's Rainforest certified does not mean that it's going to be great. So that's one thing to consider, because certifications have their own criteria for whatever it is. Like, let's say, and I don't know the actual certification criteria for rainforest, but let's say, you have to grow coffee in a rainforest and it has to have, XYZ parameters. As long as your coffee meets that, it can get certified as rainforest or whatever certification it is. But it's not a designation of quality. And in my world, we're much more interested in the quality of the coffee than the certification of the coffee, right? Because, let's say like with organic, there's a lot of places that have organic practices, mainly because people are poor. But and because of that fact, despite the fact that they are doing organic practice, they can't get certified as organic because they just don't have the money. So there's a lot of nuance and a lot of detail in coffee that's somewhat suspicious, in that respect. Anyway, all right, I guess that's it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Back again Tuesday with another episode of our coffee Q&A. So have any coffee questions or anything like that, let me know. Oh, all these people are calling me. And yeah, drop in the comments below. What are you going to do this weekend? Let me know. Drop me in the comments. I'm interested in what you're going to do this weekend for the holiday. I'm not going anywhere because this is the worst time to travel. I was just listening this morning on NPR. They were like, TSA is expecting 11% more travelers through their security checkpoints than this time last year. And I was like, wow, last year was kind of crazy. So maybe it's better to stay home and chill with family and friends. But, you're going somewhere. Hope you have a good time. Enjoy it. And see you again next week when we're going to be back with more Coffee Q&A. All right. Have a good one.